Hola y bienvenidos. Hi, welcome. It is 2 o'clock and time for Pasolivo's Cooking Kitchen for Kids. I'm Eleanor and today we are making guacamole. So we're going to be learning a little bit about avocados and the history of guacamole. We are also going to be learning a few Spanish words in there as we cook today. We are still giving a nod to all of the parents out there that are trying to homeschool. I know it's summer, but at this point, I mean, we don't know what's left and what's right at this point. So if we can do a little bit of learning with a little bit of cooking, let's get it done, right? So I'm assuming everybody's got their goodies together. The bundle that we used this week for our Pasolivo items was, we've got the lime olive oil we'll be using in our guacamole. We have our sparkling citrus vinegar. We also have our sriracha salt. Oh, sorry. Whoop, there we go. And our smoky spice blend. And the black lava salt, sea salt right here. So that's going to be our finishing salt. So those are all of the goodies that you've got bundled up together for the guacamole. Once you use olive oil and guacamole, I don't think you're ever going to go back to not. It just makes it so much smoother and creamier, and it can be useful on a lot of different levels. For example, when making your guac, you can take this ingredient. What you put in and when isn't super important. We'll go over that. But this can be something that you pour on top. If you're taking it to a potluck, for example, if you're taking it elsewhere for a barbecue, you can use this, pour it on top. What that's going to do is actually stop the avocado from browning. It stops the oxygen from hitting the avocado and therefore stops it from browning. And then immediately after, once you're ready to serve, stir it in and you'll get that beautiful lime flavor and that nice creaminess. So, has everybody got your stuff together? Let's go over what we're going to be using. So we've got 4 avocados, give or take 4 or 5, depending on how many people you're serving. I've got my 4 avocados all sliced up in here. I deliberately picked squishy ones, so they're easier to squish. If you want an arm workout, you can do harder ones. So if they are a little bit harder, slice them up smaller. I have nice squishy ones, so I can do kind of that quarter cut, and it's okay. We're also going to be using 2 tablespoons of our lime olive oil, 2 tablespoons, and 1 tablespoon of the sparkling citrus. Let's see, we've got the sriracha salt. Hey, I grabbed the right one this time. And the sriracha salt, a half teaspoon of sriracha salt. That can vary depending on what level of heat. Since this is cooking with kids, I'm not doing the jalapeno, I'm not doing the ghost pepper salt, I'm not doing the red jalapeno olive oil, which you could use instead. So if you're watching this and thinking, I don't have the lime, but I have the lime cilantro olive oil, or I have that delicious new red jalapeno olive oil, those are all olive oils that you can use. Because we're focusing this in on the kiddos and a lot of them don't like too much heat, I'm keeping it pretty mild this time. So this is one of those recipes that's going to be 2 tastes. You'll make it your own, but this is a great foundation to then kind of bounce off. Okay, so sriracha salt. And then we've got that smoky spice blend, and we're doing, let's see, I want to make sure I'm not telling you the wrong things, a half teaspoon of the smoky spice blend. So that's going to give it a little bit of kick of flavor, a little smokiness, a little sweetness to it. If you don't have this, grab it. It is one of those items that once you have it in your kitchen, you cannot live without. I use it if I'm making kale chips. I use it in my taco meat. I use it across the board. So this is a great guy to use in guacamole and in a few different other recipes as well. So that is our bundle. We've got the 4 avocados. We also have a 1/4 cup of onion and let's see, or a 1/2 cup, sorry, of tomatoes. So the tomatoes are the only thing I said, it kind of doesn't matter what you toss in and when. The tomatoes are one of those things that you want to put in at the very end because we're going to be doing a lot of smushing and smashing because it's with kids and kids love smushing and smashing. So we want to make sure that we haven't completely annihilated those tomatoes by the end. We want a little bit of that redness in there and not just ketchup. So we're going to wait until the end to do that part. But everything else can start jumping into the pool. I will say, let's get right to it. Kids, go wash your hands. Stop cooking with filthy hands. I saw those hands go into your mouth and then petting the dog. Gross. Go wash your hands. Come on back. Oh, there's a question. Yes.
We have a question. How much onion?
We've got a quarter cup. I've got a quarter cup of red onion. So again, is this going to be to taste? I will say that the smaller you slice it up, kind of the better it is. I like those big chunks, but it kind of depends on each person. A quarter cup of the red onion is going to go in there. So you're back from washing hands. Kids also, second rule, if there's heat or if there are sharp objects, use your grown-up. Let your grown-up slice their finger off. You don't do it, okay? Yeah, just outsource that. That's what grown-ups are for. So we'll get started. We've got our avocado. This, moms, you know how you're invited to all of those chef parties and you're like, I feel like I have to buy something because I feel bad because they're my friends. So you buy all these random products that you're very excited about and then never use them. Guacamole is the time where you're going to be using them. Check this thing out. This is a smusher, smasher, guacamole maker. I'm pretty sure that's the technical term for it. So this is fantastic for smushing the avocados. If you have one of these chopper dealies that you're gonna have to go into the back of your cupboard. I know it because you don't bring it out too often because there's a lot of washing involved. This is one of those times where you can use this for your onions. If your tomato is kind of hard enough, you can use it for your tomato as well. So this is fantastic for kids when they're cooking because the sharp objects are in here and they're not going to get those little fingers. And plus, you're whacking it, and kids like mushing and whacking. So there we go. So that was just a little heads up that you can use a lot of those items in the kitchen that quite often you don't. If you don't have one of these handy dandy situations, get one. But you can use a fork, you can use a spoon, a big spoon. I think kids' middle name maybe Destruction, so they will figure this out, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to smush, 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 and to help the smushing, it's total technical terms, I'm going to add in the olive oil. So we're uniting good fat with good fat right now. So we've got those great flavors. We've got that brightness of the lime olive oil with our avocados. Little known fact, did you know that avocados are a fruit, as are olives? So these are two items that are very rarely understood when it comes to where they should be kind of allocated. And avocados are a fruit. They are actually a large seed berry, apparently. I know. I don't write it. I just research it. And then the olive is a stone fruit, kind of like a plum. So this is a fruit salad that we're making today. Because tomatoes are also a fruit. What? Okay. I'm right there with you guys. I'm getting excited too. Okay, so speaking of guacamole, where did it start? Where did it originate? Turns out, prior to the 16th century, I know we all think we're all fancy with our avocado toast. The Aztecs had it on lock. They did eat some other things like insects and stuff like that, but what we did get from them, chocolate and avocados, or guacamole. So my favorite people, like two of my favorite things ever. Bring wine into it and everybody's happy, right? There we go. So check this out. Look how creamy and fantastic it's looking because we've got the olive oil in with the avocados. So guacamole is actually the kind of version, it's the Aztec word for avocado and the Aztec word for sauce. So it's avocado sauce. And when it was just them doing it, it was just avocados. And then slowly but surely, there have been spices and seasonings that have been added in throughout the years. And then everybody, like I said, makes it their own, and that's the beauty of guacamole. The reason that I'm doing guacamole today is because we've got 4th of July coming up. So this is something that your kiddos can help you make when you're prepping for that 4th of July protest. I don't know, whatever we're doing nowadays. But this is fantastic for sitting and watching. I think the games are going to be back on soon, so this is a great snack to make the family when everybody's sitting down at a barbecue or a picnic. So that's why I'm doing guacamole today. And then next Friday, we're also doing kind of a 4th of July focused food. It's going to be a fruit pizza. It's going to have red, white, and blue on it, so you'll be able to decorate it however you want. So join us next week to do that too. All right, so we've got the guacamole, we've got the olive oil. Let's put in our vinegar. So this is that sparkling citrus vinegar. Are you guys tired of us using this every single week? Because it's like flying off the shelf, so I guess everybody's following along now, but this has been used in cocktails. This has been used by the restaurants that we've been pairing up with. It's crazy. It's just one of those seasonal type flavors, that bright flavor. I always say it makes me think that's probably what the sunshine tastes like. It's just got that nice brightness and alive quality to it. So I'm putting that into, mixing it all together. So that's going to, we've got the citrus from the lime. We've also got that sparkling citrus from the vinegar. So that's brightening up the avocado. Avocados are a very mild flavor. So you don't want to overtake the flavor. You want that great avocado flavor, but you also want to make sure that it's kind of elevated. So that's what we're doing here, is kind of helping it out, not overpowering it. All right, so smushing it up even further, we're going to be then adding in all of our seasonings. So that would be our smoky spice blend, this guy. Alrighty, so the smoky spice, that is a half teaspoon that we're putting in there. And just continue smushing. Smush, smush. And yes, there's a question.
How much citrus vinegar?
The citrus vinegar, I've got it written. See, I was on the fence about making the big sign, and then I was thinking, I don't feel like we need it, but I think we do. Do we? For next time we'll do it, because then you guys can see it and we don't have to keep going back and forth. Sorry about that. But so the sparkling citrus vinegar, that's 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of vinegar. So that's easy kind of to remember. Remember, we're always going to be doing this to taste as well. And depending on how many avocados you used, I used 4. Then we're going to get in that sriracha salt. This is what, a quarter sriracha, yeah, a half tablespoon. Again, it's the heat, it's the salt. We're not looking for too much salt. Why? Because we're going to be traditionally, we would use guacamole with chips. We're going to scoop it up with chips, and chips usually have salt in it. So you have to kind of hold back on using too much salt, because the chips are going to be adding in that salt. So you have to remember that. All right. So the Spanish word for avocado is aguacate, and that is very close to the Aztec word for avocado. So you can see that it didn't kind of stray too much from, when you think about it, guacamole, aguacate, you can see how that probably kind of transitioned into what we know now. What happened is, so guacamole has been around forever. What's interesting is that it wasn't until the early 1990s that the California avocado growers were trying to figure out how to use avocados more mainstream, how to get get avocados into every household. And so they set their focus in on the main football sporting event. I feel like you're not allowed to say the word or else you get charged or something. So, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's usually in like February, January, somewhere around then. So they focus in on that day, that time, and they created this guacamole kind of ad campaign with chips because everybody loves chips and dip for the big game. So they focused in on that, and it wasn't until the early 1990s that people started picking up this whole guacamole thing and started running with it, which is really surprising because it is a staple in my house. This is my happy place. This and a margarita. I'm sitting outside and no dinner is being made. This is it. All right, so let's get some fruits and veggies into this. We've got the tomatoes. We've also got our onions. The onions are okay to smush around in there. The tomatoes we want to kind of keep as those nice chunks. So we're gonna toss these guys in there, smush them around. I dice them up to small squares. You can slice and dice them even further. Kiddos, again, outsource that. Let the parents, let the grandparents slice their finger off. Go find a Band-Aid for them just in case. But the slicing and dicing can get a little dicey. So we want to make sure that the adults are doing that. And the kids are doing the dumping. All right. So since the 1990s, guacamole has obviously taken off. Avocados have obviously taken off. They're huge in keto now. They're huge in a lot of different diets. They've got so many great health benefits. Avocado and olive oil, the two together are just this like superpower food. So let's see, potassium, lutein, folate, fiber, vitamins B, C, and E. Avocados are just insane with all of the different goodness that they have in there. So the monounsaturated fat, that's the good fat that both of these guys have. That's good for the heart, that's good for the body. You're gonna see it in your skin. I always talk about our extra virgin olive oils and our olive oils as being just basically health foods. We've shown at cardiologist events, we've had nurses do tastings with us because it is such a fantastic food to integrate into your diet, whether it's in the Mediterranean type vibe or foods like this, in my mind, an everyday food. Okay, so let's get the tomatoes in. This is last but not least, so we've got all the kids are in the pool at this point. Tomatoes are going in. I will say, if I chose not to be lazy today, but if you are kind of running late and you are able to swing by a grocery store, pico de gallo, which is short for like little pieces for gallos, which is roosters, hens, chickens. But if you get that container of pico de gallo, that's basically sliced up cilantro, tomato, onion, it's all right there. So if you just smush up your avocado and toss that in there, boom. You've skipped a few steps, you're winning. Add some of this stuff to make it your own, and you've created a fantastic guacamole, and you haven't had to do all the slicing, dicing. So that is, if you get invited to a potluck all of a sudden or forget, just mom brain, then you can do that, and it'll look like you spent hours on it. Alrighty. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, when you're making this, make it in one container and have another container to dump it into, because smushing up avocado is messy. So, as it should be. But when it comes to displaying, you want to make sure that you have got it displayed nicely. I don't know if you saw the picture on Instagram, but that was me making it in one bowl and then switching it over to another bowl to take the pictures, because the first bowl was hot mess and all over the place. And so yeah, so keep that in mind too. If you are following along, you have noticed that I have not used this black lava salt yet. Do you remember this from last week when Wineshine used it on the margarita? So, which, by the way, if you are following along and have been making those cocktails, that margarita with this, perfect. And if you're on our Instagram, you probably saw that we posted about making your own tortilla chips. So with our lime cilantro olive oil. So make your own tortilla chips, make your own margarita, get your guacamole, you're set, right? So who needs restaurants to open up? You've got this, you've got this. So this guy isn't going in right now because we're not stirring it up. It's actually going to go right on the top because it's really pretty on top and it gives you that nice crunch. So we're going to take this guy, transfer it over to a pretty untouched bowl that does not have green slime all over it. Yay! All right, so we're going to transfer it over, and then we're going to put that black lava salt in there. Let's see how many things I can knock down while I do this. All right. Did you also know if you have severe latex allergies, then avocados may not be for you? Turns out that the same allergies can come up when you have latex allergies if you eat avocados. So, and we're talking severe, but if you have severe latex allergies, consult your doctor before eating your guacamole today. Interesting, right? Who knew? Okay, so I've kind of cleared that off. Así que tenemos cebolla, onion, tomate, tomato, aceite, vinagre, and sal, the salt. I know a lot of our local community, our kiddos go to a school that has both English and Spanish learning, kind of a mix. So a lot of the parents are kind of lost right now because if they don't know Spanish and their kids know a lot of Spanish because they've been going to this school, they're kind of up a tree now without the teachers being there. So a little bit of Spanish here and there, watching Dora the Explorer and doing this will help you out. All right, so we're gonna toss all this in here. Yes, I'm so excited. Okay, I could eat avocado pretty much daily. So this, if you've been to any California restaurant, guacamole goes with fish tacos. It goes with just tortilla chips. We've got fantastic Mexican breakfast dishes that work with avocado or with guacamole. So there's a lot of good things you can do with it. Huevos rancheros. It's rancher's eggs, but huevos rancheros have layers and layers of just goodness on there, and guacamole is part of it. And there's a whole bunch of different bits and pieces that you can use guacamole for. So here we go, and then we've got the black lava salt, and we're just going to, and I know someone's going to ask how much, and this is one of those a pinch situations, so just grab and toss on, and that is what we are looking for. Ta-da! Grab your tortilla chips, your homemade tortilla chips, and get in on it. Does anybody have any questions, any feedback? I love hearing from you guys. I love the fact that you guys are with us every Friday at 2 to see what we do next. Last week we worked with Wineshine, a local distillery. Before that, it was Bistro Laurent, a local restaurant. So we are kind of bobbing and weaving and trying to keep it fresh and fun for you guys. We love hearing feedback as well, so let us know what you think. And if you make this, take a picture of it at Pasolivo. Make sure to tag us and let us know that you've made it. It sounds like there's a question.
Not a question, but Lori says it looks wonderful.
Yes, I know. It smells good too. It smells so fresh, and I love the fact that this is basically a fantastic health food too. So this is one of those things that you can happily put down in front of the kiddos and let them get after it and know that it's not, it's no Cheetos. So, or Takis like my kids are in love with. So yeah, this is perfect for just snacking on, for putting into fajitas, burritos, tacos. This is a great addition, or just snack outside right now because it's toasty outside, so nobody wants to be cooking anything. I'm here next week. We're going to be doing a 4th of July food. It has strawberries, blackberries, brie. We're going to be making a honey balsamic glaze. And it's going to be beautiful and delicious. So that should be really family friendly for everybody. The items to use for that, if you're going to be picking up the bundle, would be, they're right behind me, so forgive me for turning for a second, but okay, the sweet basil plum balsamic, there we go. The basil olive oil, if you don't have this in your house, have it in your house. It puts any other basil olive oil to shame. It is a fantastic olive oil. It tastes like you're biting into fresh basil. It is a fantastic, beautiful olive oil. So this guy, and the orange blossom, because it's going to be a honey balsamic glaze that we do on the fruit pizza. So that is what we're going to be doing next week. Same place, same time. And kind of get excited and ready for that 4th of July holiday, however you're going to spend it. And other than that, thank you so much for being with me. Hop back onto our Instagram. That's where you can find the recipe for our tortilla chips. Hop onto either our Facebook or our Instagram. I think both of them right now have our wine shine deal that we did last week with the margaritas. So technically you could get going and get cooking today and create yourself a nice little Mexican fiesta at home. So amigos, muchas gracias. Thank you so much, friends, for staying with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. All right, bye guys.